Welcome back, ARK players, to a brand new video. Now today, I'm hoping this will be one of the final videos from the launch of Unreal Engine 5.5. Mainly just because, obviously, you know, it was a smooth launch and then it ended up not being that much of a smooth launch because there's been a whole bunch of issues. You guys know I reported on the, Unreal Engine mod issue, which has been fixed. I know there's still some issues with mods going on out there. And now we're talking about the, how the game is actually coping after the update, as there's been some huge reports of people's FPS dropping significantly, and also, you know, I saw the top comment on my video yesterday and it was just not fixed and it had like 100 likes or something. So we're going to be going through the news from Dolly today, giving us an update on what's going on. Obviously, Ragnarok is in 6 days' time. Please don't hate me for saying that. I can only go by the date that Wildcard give. Of course, we all think in our head it's going to have a delay or things like that, but the only thing I can do is go by what the current news is. But anyway, if you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you're new around here. Come and join us in the LoadedCrysis cluster for free Ragnarok servers. A link is in the Discord down below. And let's get in with the news. So, starting things off, as you'll be able to see, someone said on the Discord at Dolly, any notice about the upcoming update about the FPS drops? I want to play, but I can't at 10 FPS. Now, as you can see, Dolly went on to say, engineers are currently working on it after we gathered lots of helpful info from players. It's a high priority, but no ETA as of yet. We suck at ETAs though, So obviously, one of the things I will say with the Unreal Engine 5.5 is we've built ourselves onto this new platform, which is important. I will say that whenever I go to load up ARK now on my PC, I load up ARK and I go into my single player or anything like that and it loads instantly. Faster loading times is, for me personally, on my side, a lot better. But when I did my review on the actual change, it did improve, but now for some reason, since this new update, FPS has started to drop. Now, there's been countless amounts of issues that have come onto this afterwards, and it's sad to see, but at this moment in time, this Unreal Engine 5.5 upgrade is literally like releasing a new game, because when the first version of ASA was released, it looked great, but it was literally full of, it was just an unoptimized game. Now that 5.5 is out, we're now at a stage where that's come out, it's made things better, and we've got a better platform Wildcard have got a better platform to build on things, but we've still got a lot of issues to go through, and I just have to always give the facts. It's not me always backing up Wildcard, saying Wildcard are making the right decisions. They've made the right decision with the Unreal Engine 5.5 upgrade, but unfortunately, many issues are going to be following it as we go on. So someone went to say to Dolly, saying, I'd wager the to-do list of fixes is a mile long right now. And Dolly said, long list of fixes plus prep for Rag launch slash Lost Colony. There's lots of moving parts. Now, obviously, I agree that the fixes are the most important thing, because we don't want to be playing a broken Rag. But at the end of the day, Studio Wildcard are, as a company as a whole, will be told that they need to hit these certain launch dates by a certain space of time. Obviously, in Wildcard timing, I'm sure they have this massive long timing to be able to get something out, because they always delay things. But we have so much coming out this year. I am slightly concerned that they don't mention much about Valguero, because Valguero is meant to be coming out in August, and, you could end up seeing Rag launching and then there not being another DLC until Lost Colony, which is very possible. But obviously the most important thing right now would be just to make sure the game is in its perfect state. I do see Rag launching on time, but I do see it launching with still some issues with the game. But at the end of the day, it's probably still going to be in a better way than it would have been if it was in Unreal Engine 5.2, because that was truly unoptimized. And I know a lot of console players and a lot of players have been reporting they're having a better time. And I know, again, this is... people watch these videos and they say, oh, Dom, this is just you being so kind to Wildcard. It's not me being so kind to Wildcard. I know it's mistakes, but when I see for the first time in, like, since ASA launch, people, especially on console, reporting that they're actually experiencing a playable game is one of the most important things for me. Now, this is a massive thing. Again, one of the most top liked comments on yesterday's video and the one before that. And people were saying, do they have the ghost trees and rocks and stuff in the list of fixes? And Dolly has confirmed that this is in the list of fixes. So for anyone that's experiencing issues where they're not seeing certain things, they're not seeing trees, they're not seeing rocks. I know Xbox Series S is truly experiencing some bad times. And you guys know I've let my feelings known on the Xbox Series S. I feel like it's not been given as much love as it truly needs, and you know, it was given as like an alternative to the Xbox Series X as a cheaper alternative. But when it tries to play games like, I mean, mainly just ARK, right? Because ARK is still not an completely optimized game, and when you need to run this game, you need like a space station. Like, you really do. And I'm not saying the Xbox Series S isn't good for running a standard, well-optimized game. It is. I mean, I don't have one, so I can't say that, but that's just from what people have told me. I've got friends that have that Xbox. But when it comes to running ARK, it does kind of feel like kind of a bit hopeless until it gets the updates that it needs. It should be a console that can deal with it, but unfortunately, the way that ARK runs, the way that the game's built on, it's just, if you are on ASA playing Xbox Series S, I'm sure you're having a pretty tough time. I hope things may seem a bit smoother after the Unreal Engine 5.5, but you guys can let me know that in the comment section down below. Now, for players that are experiencing issues with mods, I wanted to give you an update on what's going on with that. I did explain it in my last video, but more sort of being talked about. So, obviously, there are still players experiencing crashes, invalid issues, and things like that. This side of things now is down to the mods actually themselves getting updated to the new stuff. A lot of mod creators have gone on to say that at the beginning, they were given the sort of details they needed to make sure it was ready for the 5.5 update, and since it's sort of gone live, they said it was ready, and they didn't believe that Studio Wildcard gave them the exact resources or something like that. I don't really know the full details into it, but what they exactly needed to make sure the mod was fully ready. So that's why if you are playing a single player or a server or anything like that and you're still experiencing issues, it will be because that mod hasn't got itself completely up to date with the new version. Now, as I'm saying, this wasn't any mod creators watching. I know it wasn't completely down to you guys. You know, you guys got given some late information, or you were told some other things that you needed to do when you were first maybe told this would be fine, and now you've got to make those changes. So if you are playing on a certain server or single player that is still experiencing issues with mods, unfortunately, you have two options. These options right now is just wait it out, play something else until the mod gets brought up to date. Hopefully that won't be that much longer. But if you need your ARK fix and you're getting bored of waiting, you're going to have to source out what the problem is, what mod is causing you the issues, and you may have to look at removing it. The reason why I don't like giving that recommendation to people is because obviously many people are using certain mods that have their dinos in, they have their items in, you know, stuff they've grinded for, stuff they've worked so hard for, and if they remove that mod, that means that will be gone forever. So I know that's one thing. So literally the only sort of information I can give to you guys right now is just to hold off if you are experiencing that. And as long as your mod is being constantly updated and you're using a mod that's being like, you know, you've got a mod creator that constantly updates it, gives it updates, you'll be okay. But if you're using a really out of date mod that might only get an update every now and then, you could be waiting a very long time, which is where you may need to start thinking, do I need to get rid of this mod, or should, you know, that you guys know what I mean. Some people have also asked the question to me saying, why are they working on Lost Colonies so much alongside when it's Ragnarok and Unreal Engine 5.5? I'm sure many of you guys may have seen that the expansion pass is actually coming out on the 18th as well, if everything's on time, and this is the early access. Now, really, this is something that obviously Studio Wildcard need to do. Some people may disagree, but unfortunately, in the world of business, you've got to keep making money to be able to keep the business running, and that's why they decided to release the pre-orders for Lost Colony, because it gives them that income to come in. So they've also got to work on this early exclusive Lost Colony gameplay that will be coming as part of the expansion pack. Now, personally, me as a long serving ARK player back from the 2016 2015 days, I'm excited to go more towards the way it used to be. The way it used to be was we would buy a season pass and we would just be, we'd pay straight up for that season pass, and that's those were the maps that we would get. Back in the day when we bought the Genesis season pass, we bought the, the Aberration, Scorched, all of that stuff. When we bought that, so I want to get more towards that again. But because Studio Wildcard obviously didn't have a finished version of ASA, it only launched with the, island. They've obviously had to look at different ways to be able to generate income while still giving us the maps for free. And that's where things like Bob's Tall Tales came around. I personally think they put some great work into Bob's Tall Tales. I really enjoy Bob's Tall Tales. I think it's been a great addition to the game, and I think it was a clever idea about how to make income while they can't sell DLCs, because they had to do that to generate income. Still not a fan of the pay-to-win creatures, and again, that's why I know a lot of people still play ASE, because they weren't happy with you had to buy this to be able to do it. But again, this was Studio Wildcard's and Snail Games' decision, and that's probably what's going to be happening in the future. So Rag launch is still set for the 18th of June. Obviously, subject to change just in case anything goes wrong. I've mentioned to you guys in many videos before that because Rag has been ready and built in UE 5.5 a while back, I don't expect it to be as bad as the engine upgrade with the issues. I know some people are like, Dom, be careful with how you use your words because anything could happen. But that's the only thing is, because they've been building this and working on this in the background in the new version, you would have hoped that it will be ready for this, and they've not said anything. But I know Studio Wildcard are very famous for last minute delays, things like that, and it could potentially get a couple of days delay, but it will never launch on a weekend. So if it doesn't launch on June 18th, it could still launch on Thursday the 19th, Friday the 20th. I know they don't really enjoy a Friday launch too, because that could go into the weekend. So really being realistic about it, it'll be June 18th or June 19th. And if that doesn't happen, it will go into the next week. But we will see.